Hey, thanks for checking in to the State of Basketball podcast, episode 38. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week. We're going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Big One schools in the state of Indiana because 49 states.
It's just basketball.
Uh, so right before we get into this, we're not talking to someone from this school, but I did visit one of the schools in the state. So I made a quick trip. I was going by Valpo, so made a quick trip over to Valpo, rung the Liberty Bell, Jesus Christ, rung the Victory Bell, and got to see the Arc. It was locked because it was a Saturday, but did get to go there. Can't wait to get back for a game, but let's move on. Let's get into it. We have, I think this is our first time we've had a player and a coach from the same school, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had 3 coaches, 1 player so far. So first chance to have an overlap, and I think it's going to be a good one.
And our first still active, like,
Yeah.
He's gone. He doesn't play for Evansville anymore. He's over in Illinois, so
he's a traitor. Just kidding.
You
Ben.
said it.
Ben, we love you. I'm kidding. But yeah, no. First time we'll have an active, not only not from playing that play for one of our schools, but active player.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. Well, who is it, Adam? Who we got?
Yeah, so we I forgot to pull it up, but the man of many nicknames apparently. But we, I think, to each other refer to him as the Merv Man. We are joined this week by Sam Mervis from Southern Indiana, and so we're excited to have Sam on. I'm not going to read through this list of nicknames, but I'm sure that he has no shortage of nicknames. So let's bring Sam in here, Jaren.
Yeah. Sam, what's up?
How you guys doing?
Doing good. So Adam kind of brought it up, a lot of nicknames. Do you have a preferred nickname? Do you just, go with whatever someone wants to call you?
Yeah, I think it kind of fluctuates a little bit, but I like to keep it simple, just Merv. I think that's the easiest one that I like to go by.
Merv.
It's consistent too.
What is it? Magic Merv?
Yeah, Brad was throwing some out there, but I don't know. I think it might be a little too out there for me. I like to keep it simple.
Okay. Brad Klein also threw out Six-Pack Sam.
Yeah, he might have been generous with that one.
See, I don't know if that meant you were in shape or you were the life of the party.
I think the first. I'm definitely not the life of the party.
Oh, come on, selling yourself short. Well, we're glad to have you on. Like we said at the beginning, we had Coach Sprue on, so we had one of your assistant coaches on, and excited to hear more about Southern Indiana from a player's perspective. Obviously, we got to hear about it, what it's like from a coaching perspective, but the player's perspective, I think, is what the people really want to hear about, and obviously they want to learn, about you, a little bit about your background, where you came from, why you ended up here, but we'll get into that. You got anything you want to say before we jump into it?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, we want everyone to get to know you. We want to get to know you a little bit. So what was life like for you growing up? You have siblings, you an only child. Where'd you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
So I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I got 3 brothers. I have 2 that are older, I think about 27, 25, and then I have a younger one who's 20, who's at Davidson. But other than that, we just kind of stayed active with sports. My oldest brother played baseball and soccer. My youngest brother played baseball, soccer, and basketball, and then I just played basketball. So my middle brother, he did a lot of acting and theater, so he must have missed the mark with that one. But we've been an active family, and sports has been something that we've always done growing up. So that's been nice.
So did any of your other siblings play in college?
My little brother didn't intend to, but he somehow got asked to be on the baseball team. He's like a bullpen catcher over at Davidson. So He didn't intend to going in, but he just somehow walked into the right spot, and he's been on the team for the last 2 years there.
It's really
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I coach high school baseball and played baseball growing up. I decided not to in college, but I looking back, like I know we're talking about your brother now, not you, but man, being a bullpen catcher was always like, man, why did I play infield? Why did I pitch? I should have just gone somewhere and been a bullpen catcher.
Yeah,
Sounds
no,
like a
he's
great
definitely.
life.
Every time we talk, he's definitely living a good life. He said all the guys are really nice. The coaches have taken a good liking to him, and he's a really big fan of the school. So I think he's definitely living all right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your basketball journey. You know, how you fell in love with the game, how you ended up at University High School in Carmel. Kind of walk us through that.
So growing up, I played basketball, but I didn't take it super seriously. And my high school coach, he runs a basketball program called Grand Park Premier in Indy, which has gotten a lot bigger now. But when I was growing up, it was kind of still starting. And in about fourth or fifth grade is when I started playing with them, and I gained some friends that I really liked, and I kind of grew more fond of the sport. And I started doing a lot more training with them and traveling with them and playing more games. And they kind of helped me figure out how to work and kind of what that looks like and what's supposed to look like every day. And that helped me a lot, just kind of understanding how to get better at basketball, what it kind of takes and stuff like that, which has been good. And my oldest brother actually went to university, and so I didn't really have a huge choice. But also, my travel coach was the high school coach, so I had to get in there, and I ended up going there. I was able to be on varsity my freshman year, but I didn't play. And then the following 3 years, I was able to be an impactful player on varsity, which is nice, along with a couple of my buddies, which were it was some good times. We won one sectional there my 4 years, which is unfortunate. We got knocked out by the state champions 3 out of 4 years. But I was able to, I think we won 20 games 3 out of 4 years, and I was able to lead there with the assist and steal record. So that's something that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think I would have done any differently, honestly. University was a really cool place for me. It's a smaller school, but all the people there were super nice. It was a really nice community. And we were a small school, but everybody came to the games and they kind of showed out. And that was something that was really fun. I always look back and all the guys that I play with are still close. And we kind of still always talk and reminisce about those times.
So university is technically is it technically like a prep school?
I think it's just I think it is technically a college prep school.
Okay. So if you had not gone there, what would have been like your neighborhood school?
So I live on the border of Indianapolis and Carmel. And so I live technically on the Carmel side, but right across the street, my grandparents live on the Indianapolis side, and we technically own that. So my middle brother went to North Central, which was the Indianapolis school. But I also technically could have gone to Carmel. So I guess it would have been dealer's choice.
So you had two choices and you said neither.
Yeah, I think my parents were pretty set on university, and having an in with the high school coach there definitely made it a little bit easier. So I think it was I think kind of helped out that way.
Okay. So I guess my next kind of a follow-up question about university is, are there a lot of what percentage of the people at the school are playing sports, or are there people who are going there for more of an academic prep for college?
I think university it's a really small school, but I think they kind of emphasize the no cut thing. So I think a large percentage of them do play sports. I don't know the exact number, but I would assume it's a large percent because I think that's something that they advertise. Academics is big there, but it's not everything. Or athletics is big there, but it's not everything. So, like you said, I think a lot of the appeal is just the ability to go there and play sports. So if I threw a number out, I would just be spitballing, but I'd say maybe 60 to 70%. I'd say definitely over half, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of more information on that for our listeners, because I remember when I was in high school, we went to high school up in Fort Wayne. So Rayfield Davis, who played at Purdue, was at our high school, and
Okay.
after junior year, at our high school, he moved over to La Lu, and it's like, okay, is this just like a basketball school?
Yeah.
Everyone's going here, you're all just playing sports. So just kind of get a little clarification on like, is it still like feel like a regular school, or is it just like, oh, we're all just trying to play sports at the next level?
Oh no, it's definitely not Lalu. I think they definitely take academics more seriously than that. But I think they just wanted to give everybody a chance to play something that they wanted to play and kind of try new things. But no, I definitely wouldn't compare it to Lalu.
Yeah. So I guess when did you realize that you were going to be able to play it at, the college level? Like,
I think it was something that I always kind of hoped and aspired to do, and kind of more of like sophomore going into junior years when we were playing teams and beating teams in the summer that we weren't really supposed to beat if you kind of give us the eye test. And we were able to go against some competition that was supposed to be really highly touted, and we were able to go up and not only compete but beat them. And I think that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence and boost that I was going to be able to compete there. And then it was just a matter of just continuing to kind of stay on that trajectory and kind of work and kind of keep doing that stuff, competing against the players that were supposed to be like super highly touted and stuff like that.
When did the college letters start coming?
Honestly, I didn't really get that many. I was super under the radar. I didn't play on huge travel teams like that. My parents were people that basketball was a lot, but they weren't people that wanted to travel and do AAU and all that stuff. So they like to just stay local. So most of my letters were from like small, like D2s, D3s and stuff like that. Probably my junior year is when I started playing. Like I started playing 30 out of the 32 minutes in high school. So definitely my junior and senior year.
You remember, do you remember who your first Division I offer was?
Just Indiana State was the only D1 school I talked to.
Only one?
Yeah. And I sent out a lot of letters too. I was itching to talk to people, and Indiana State, somebody had kind of put them in contact with me, and they were the only one to bite. So I was extremely blessed to talk to Kareem Richardson, who was the assistant that reached out to me. He got me down there for a couple games, and Coach Lanson had called me and asked me to come down for a visit, but COVID had struck all of that, so I was unable to do that. But I just thought that Indiana State, talking to those two coaches, was a really nice guys, and I really liked what they were about. And just the ability to go challenge myself and go play against those guys was something that really intrigued me.
Did Southern Indiana reach out? Because they were D2 at the time when you were coming out of high school, right?
Yeah, no, they didn't. I don't think Coach G was there, so I won't hold it against him. But
right,
they didn't. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Obviously we like seeing in-state guys stay in state. So, and you have continued to stay in state, so we love that.
Right.
Even more.
So when you decided on Indiana State, right? Were you said that they were the only Division I school? Were there other smaller schools that you were considering as well, or was it once you got the call from Indiana State and started talking to them, you're like, I'm going there? Kind of, what was that like?
I think to me, I was really big on. I knew that if I had a chance to go to Division I, then I was going to do whatever it took to kind of go there, just because the way I was kind of raised is like, if you have dreams and you have goals, then like I want to be in the position, I want to be challenged every day, and I want to be held accountable like that. Another one of my high school teammates, who's been one of my best friends since about third grade, he was talking to some D2s and D3s, and honestly, if I didn't go to Indiana State, I probably just would have gone wherever he went and kind of continued playing with him. He ended up going to Hanover, and then he just transferred to Trine this year, who won the Division III national championship. So, I mean, I don't know exactly where I would have gone, but I probably would have tried to do something similar with him. But I think Indiana State was just kind of the appeal of just being able to push myself every day and go against like the top competition was something that really, really drew interest in me.
Shout out my alma mater, Trine. Like you said, D3 national champions.
Right.
But yeah, I get that, going to like that that Division I offer, I mean, that's what you're looking for, like when you're a high school athlete. Obviously when you're like getting a Division I offer and you've got a lot of D2 offers too, it's like, okay, I could go Division II, maybe play a little bit more, but I like that, you wanted that challenge of like, they want me, I'm going to rise to the, challenge and show them that I can do this. So you were talking about when you started at Indiana State, Lansing was the coach, right?
Right.
And so you went through a coaching change, and Schertz comes in after your freshman year. Is that right?
Right.
So what was it like to go through that change, first of all?
So when I first went there, I really had no idea that he wasn't going to be brought back, and there was kind of talks about Coach Lansing wouldn't be brought back when we were in the middle of the season, and he told us that it was going to be hard, that we would probably have to win the conference, and that was like that might not be enough still. So that was something that kind of all of us were thinking about during the season, is like what next year would look like. And obviously we didn't win the conference, but I feel like we ended the season on a high note. We were able to win a game in St. Louis, which was big for us. And when the season ended, we tried to all get K Rich to get bumped up, because we all liked the group that we had and we wanted to stay. Ultimately, Sherrod knew what he was doing, and he brought in Coach Schertz. And most of the team left. I think there was only a couple people that stayed, but I stayed with my roommate, Julian Larry, and Nick Hiddle. So those are some guys that we kind of looked at each other and we were like, all right, let's give it a chance. The guy's been proven at Division II. I think it was an 83% win percentage, something like that. And it doesn't matter what level you play at, 83% is 83%.
Yeah.
So he obviously knew what he was talking about. And we watched them play Lincoln Memorial, and they played a fun brand of basketball. So when they came in, I think it was we were doing spring workouts with three of us. I think it was myself, Julian Larry, and Tyreek Key. So it was a brutal spring. He was getting us up at 8 a.m. every day, getting us to do some workouts, and he was trying to see if he was going to break us. Honestly, he was running us pretty hard, he's working us pretty hard, but it was all good stuff. And if you listen to him speak, if you listen to him talk about X and O's, it's hard not to understand what he's talking about and kind of believe in what he's saying. So I sat down with him and we all talked, and he said in his system, you either get exposed or you rise to the level. And I think that was something that really, it kind of the same way I was talking about being challenged at Division I. I think that was the same way he talked about the Kaizen that he preaches, where it's like the commitment to continual growth. I think that was something that was really cool. And they put a huge emphasis on player development, and it just sounded like a really, really good thing to try out. Obviously, we weren't as good as we wanted to be. We ended up losing our best player, Tyreek Key, had shoulder surgery, which kind of hurt us. And then a little bit similar to this year, my second year at Indiana State, we just lost a lot of close games. We were in a lot of close games. We just couldn't pull them out. We didn't have a lot of experience. But I think just like the way, if you ever listen to Coach Schertz talk, just the way he's able to talk basketball, the way he's able to talk coverages and think the game, the IQ, he was able to teach us not only sets and plays, but he was able to teach us about IQ of basketball and how to kind of counter the defenses and learn the game. And I think that was something that was really, really impressive from him, and something that I'm forever grateful for.
Did you how did it feel knowing that, obviously you were coached by Josh Schertz for 1 year at Indiana State, and then seeing kind of people in the national media like latch onto this team and like understand, like, one, how good the players are, and then two, how good he is and his mind is as a coach?
I think it was obviously well deserved, but Julie and I would talk about it. We weren't very surprised. I mean, obviously his first year we were losing, but we could sense that the vision was there, and he kept telling us, he was like, I'm going to get it right. And he kept telling us he was going to get it right. And it didn't matter no matter what we did the previous day, we were going to like commit to the process and we were going to go through it. And I feel like when you do that, he's got his favorite quote is "pound the rock," and it's like, it doesn't matter however many times you pound it. It might not be the first time, the 10th time, but eventually that rock's going to break. You just got to keep pounding it. And I think that was something that when he finally got the media that he deserved, and when they got to play the brand of basketball that he was trying to design, I think that was something that was really awesome, and he deserved it.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to we're happy for him getting the recognition and getting a better job. We're always for people getting better jobs in any way, but it stinks that he left the state.
Yeah, they gave us a beating last year though, so him and I are not on good terms because of that. It was not a fun game to be a part of. I'll tell you that.
That's when you go to Coach G and you say, "Let me check in. I can give the 5 hardest fouls you've seen. I've got 5 to give. Might as well use them."
Yeah, no, that was definitely not the way we thought that game was going to go. It was not ideal, but it happens. It unfortunately does happen.
What?
Go ahead, Jaren.
Yeah, I was to say, just a follow up to that. What is it like, playing against a former coach, a former team, a former roommate, and Julian? What was that like? Is there an extra chip on your shoulder, or is it just another game?
Yeah, I mean, individually, I just played a horrible game the game before, so I was extremely excited to go in there and go back to my old school. And I was starting at that point, so I was excited to go in and kind of have a good game and have a bounce back game. Obviously, it didn't end that way, but that was my thought process going into it. I'm pretty good about keeping in contact with those guys still, even the coaching staff and some of those support staff guys. But that week, obviously, you don't talk to them, you don't look at them, nothing like that. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't want to give them any more pressure. The weirdest thing was probably just playing against Julian and Isaiah didn't play that game, but playing against those guys, that's somebody that I think I was actually just on the phone with Isaiah a couple hours ago today, and Julian and I talk every day. So having somebody that we always text each other, like, have a good game or do this, that, and the third. So that day it was like, have a game. Like it wasn't anything too crazy. And before the game, like, I don't want to look you in the eyes because I don't want you to look me in the eyes and start laughing or do anything like that. We just wanted to keep the game as it was. You didn't want to put any extra pressure on it. But it was definitely fun to be back in Terre Haute.
You had I pulled up your stat line. You had 2 steals in that game.
A couple of steals and a couple of assists, but we weren't making much of anything.
Did your steals come against Larry?
I don't know if they did. I'll definitely never let him forget that.
we'll have to dig through the tape.
I tried to forget it as soon as that game was over. It was completely erased.
We'll have to dig through the tape, and if it was against Larry, I'd be like, all right, man, here's the clip.
Yeah.
just send him this one clip.
Yeah. He had a great behind the back pass against us. It was horrible to watch as an opponent, but after the game, I had to let him know it was a nice pass.
That's awesome.
So I guess you're so after your sophomore year at Indiana State, you then decide to transfer to Southern Indiana. So what was that process like for you?
Yeah, we knew we had to kind of rebuild the team there at Indiana State, and Coach Schertz and I are still good friends today, and we still talk a lot. But it was just something that he was going to bring in a whole new team, and my style didn't really fit that, and so it was something that I just ended up going in the portal. And Coach Aldridge, who's one of our assistants, he's actually from Indy, and he was one of my middle school travel coaches for a year. So I had a previous relationship with him, and he was at Park Tudor at the time. I almost went there with him, and so he was somebody that I knew pretty well. And Coach G, he actually was on staff with Coach Lansing way back when at Indiana State. So that was somebody that had a mutual connection with as well. So when Coach Aldridge hit me up, and when I was talking to Coach G down there, Coach Lansing let me know that was a good guy, and that was someone that was he was true and genuine. And so after that, being able to talk to those two, being able to talk to Coach G about it was something that really sold me on it. And then I don't know if you guys have been down there yet, but the facilities are just beautiful. I mean, they're super nice. They're super new. The gym is really nice. The weight room is really nice. And the campus itself is really nice as well. So going down there was kind of a hard thing to pass up on.
Yeah, we haven't been down there yet, but that's Coach Sprue was talking about just how nice it was. I think he said that, I don't remember who it was, somebody who, I think it was a transfer who committed for this upcoming season, came to a women's game, maybe the women's NIT game, and saw the environment.
Yeah, they played Wisconsin, and I mean that game was rocking. I definitely pulled my phone out to take a video of it. Just the environment, it was super loud, and they were beating up pretty bad on them in the first 3 quarters. So I mean that game was rocking. It was really cool to see the stadium get as loud as it was, and those girls deserved it. They had a heck of a year.
Should have been able to make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, seriously.
Speaking of tournaments, right? So last year, the Ohio Valley tournament, we thought y'all were going to make some noise, right? We watched you all season, all of the close games you played. It's like, okay, these guys they're gonna maybe not run the table, but they're gonna beat up on some teams. You guys played without Jeremiah. I think AJ went down.
About like 58 seconds into the game or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you played well, right? You had 8 assists, I think 6 points. Give us some insight on going into that game? How did you prepare? How did you what was that performance like for you?
Yeah, I mean, we had honestly just come off 2 really bad losses at home too, and it was something where we were frustrated, but I mean, at the same time, is when you get to conference season, everybody's 0-0, and there's no reason to go in anyway, go into the conference tournament anyway. But you got to play desperate. I mean, we had nothing to lose. It was obviously super unfortunate. Jeremiah got really, really sick, and he tried to give it a go in layup lines and stuff like that. And he looked at me and he was like, "My arms and my legs, they just feel so heavy. I can't get the ball to the rim." So he tried to give it a go, but he was unable to. And we still felt like they stole one from us at their place, we thought, and we thought we were going to be able to go in and kind of show them that they did steal one at their place, and now we were the better team. And AJ goes down really early, twists his ankle. He wasn't able to go back in, but I think we got some huge plays from people like Ryan and JV is able to knock down some threes. Our bigs were able to come in and finish. And so I think that kind of gave us a little boost of like, it doesn't matter who we have on the floor. As long as we play together and we play hard, then we'll be good. And we went into the half, I think, up 3 or 5. And then the second half, we just kind of cooled off. They hit some huge shots at the end of the game to kind of put the dagger in there. But I think, like you said, I think going into it, we felt like we really could go make some noise. And just the ball just didn't roll our way at the end of the game, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think thinking back on that game, I actually think that the exact words I used to Adam, I was texting him about it. I think I said that was the dagger. After they just hit a big shot. It was
huge shot. It was on me too. I was so sick. Huge shot. It was like 5-6 feet off the line. It was just thrown out to him, and I contested it too. But he just hit a huge shot from deep. It definitely hurt my heart.
Yeah, I mean, 8 assists though. I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, we were able to make some big shots that game. They kept playing ice. They kept trying to ice us and push everything down, and our bigs were able to find that pocket and step into it. I think KP gave me at least 3 or 4 of them, which was really, really big on his part. He was able to catch some and dunk some, and anytime you can get your bigs going like that, it kind of helps the whole game flow because he's able to go down the other side, block some shots, rebound, and kind of just get involved in the game.
8 assists without your 2 leading scorers, right? I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'd have definitely sacrificed all of them for a win, but
yeah, we were. I remember we were crunching the numbers at the end of the season because the OVC is what's the top 8 teams make the tournament.
Yeah,
and we were like, okay, basically, if they win one game, they're in. But then if they, lose the last 2, as long as I think it was like Tennessee State or something, as long as they also lose, then the last 2, then they're in. And then you guys got in the 8th, and we're like, all right, they're gonna end somebody's season here.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I think those last 2 games, like you said, I think we were just so focused on other teams and just kind of we weren't able to just be like, hey, whatever happens, we're in control of our own destiny. Let's just go out and win. And it's crazy. We were able to we dropped to a home, which is never something you want to do, but we did drop to a home, and then we kind of tried to just wipe them off and go into it, and we did start off strong, but we just weren't able to maintain it. The second half, we got a little cold, and stuff just momentum went their way, and then they just hit the dagger.
Before we jump into this next question, I want to kind of revisit because one thing that we talked about all year and you touched on is like you guys had so many close games this year. Like you finished the season 8-24, but just like looking through your schedule, like you had a 1 point loss to LaSalle, you had 2 point loss to Bowling Green, a overtime loss to SEMO by 2, and just like down the stretch lost by 4 back to back, and just like so many close games. You guys easily could have been had 15 wins if those games go your way. What's it like in the locker room when you guys are losing close games like that?
I mean, it's definitely not a happy locker room. It's frustrating. And it gets a little repetitive at the end because we don't feel like, obviously we're losing, but we feel like we're beating ourselves. We don't feel like we're getting outplayed. It's just frustrating because we feel like we just need to lock in on some details. But at the same time, it was different details every game, which kind of hurt us. But like I think early in the season we had played Duke and we were up like 3 or 5 at halftime or whatever. And at the end of the game, we ended up losing by like 16 or something like that. But when we subbed everybody out, we were only down like 10 or 12. So, we didn't feel like we were that far off all season. We just felt like there was like a little hump we had to get over. And if we were able to get over that, we were right there. And we kept getting to the top of it, but we just never were able to get over it. And that was something that was frustrating because at the same, like, you can only say so much in the locker room. It's the same way. We lose by one possession. One shot doesn't go your way. One closeout doesn't go your way. You turn the ball over one time. It was extremely frustrating. And I know guys were frustrated, were fed up, and they were trying to do everything they can. We just weren't able to have the experience that we needed. And I think that's something that we're able to build off of going into this year. We're able to kind of use the experiences we had and kind of be able to not think too much of it, but kind of remember that feeling and kind of put an emphasis on how important one possession is in every game. So like this year when we go into it, whether it's our prep, whether it's during the game, watching film or whatever, we can put that importance on each possession every game.
And then kind of on the other side, Morehead State makes the tournament out of the OVC. They lose to Illinois in the first round of the tournament, but you guys knocked off Morehead State in the regular season at their place. What was that like?
I mean, it just showed you that I don't want to say we were kind of missing our potential all year, but it kind of did show you that our potential was way higher than we were playing to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure they hadn't lost a home game in 2 years. And that's I think they had like a top 5, maybe top 3 longest home streak in the country. And we had just lost Nick Hittle, our starting center. We just kind of went out there and played that desperate way that I was kind of talking about. And when you do that, and we played extremely connected, we played extremely hard together, that was something that you do that, it's hard to lose. And I mean, a huge game from Jerry. I'm pretty sure he had like 30, 28 maybe, but huge game from him. We had some big shots from everybody. I think Milky had a huge first half, maybe like 4 or 5 threes. I know Ryan hit a couple. Everybody that came in and everybody that was there at the game was a huge impact and huge spark. So going in after that game, we just felt like any team we play with, like if we can go beat the number 1 team in the conference at their place, we could play with anybody. It was a huge win. I think the locker room was just a huge, like, a big exhale because we were just desperate for a win all year. We just were so close, and to go get that one was a big one.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the ones that we were like using as like our evidence. Like they can make some noise. Like their record is what it is, but they are playing so much better than their record shows.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for a game? Is there anything you do specifically? You gotta sleep in socks the night before a game, but you don't normally sleep in socks. Something weird?
No. I mean, I like to watch film. I like to send a couple of our teammates some stuff that I think they do that we can exploit, just also on the offensive end. And then the day of the game, I just like to kind of keep it the same. I always try and go in the morning and shoot. Just kind of make sure my body's feeling good. Nothing too crazy. I like to go home after pregame meal and just put like a little 10-minute YouTube meditation thing on, just kind of calm myself down, make sure everything is make sure I'm kind of in control of the day instead of like feeling like I'm anxious all day or anything like that. And then I think me and Milky are usually the first ones to get there, usually like 4 or 4:30 to go through our little shooting routine. And then after that, put some headphones on, listen to music, and just kind of get excited for the game, get ready to go.
What are you listening to?
I'm pretty versatile. It kind of depends on the day. I'm definitely not afraid to play rap. I'm not afraid to play country either. So it kind of just depends on the day. I'm good for whatever.
You beat me to it, Adam. I'll get ready to ask the same thing.
We'll have to track it and be like, he had 8 assists when he was listening to rap. He had 2 when he was he was
If
listening.
you can do that, it
country.
will completely change the music I listen to.
That's funny. So you talked about, before we started, right? Before we went live, kind of talked about you just wrapped up summer session. What is that? So what does that look like for basketball? What's the kind of? I think you said it was 7 weeks.
Yeah, so we do 4 weeks in June, and then we'll take the week of July, the 4th off. We'll take that whole week off, and then we'll do the next 3 weeks of July. So it's really it's huge to get accustomed to all the new guys that we got, especially with the way today is transfer portal. I mean, this is gonna be my 5th year, and I don't think I've had less than 7 new guys every year, which is insane. So it's big to get new guys in there to play a lot of pickup, and then you got to be able to install everything. So June is just really big about skill work and installing your offensive principles, defensive principles and systems and stuff like that. Kind of getting used to like building the foundation of what you want to go on. And as you kind of ramp it up through June, you're kind of building the habits and stuff like that. And then obviously July, you're not there yet, but you want to kind of keep building on them. If you're at the ground, you kind of want to take it up a level, start playing more, start getting into more of like your ball screen coverages, how we want to play offensively, what kind of pace we want to play in and stuff like that. For us, we just put really big emphasis on the defensive side. So we kind of put in how we want to guard this year, making sure that we do all the little things right, making sure we're hands up, we're in the gaps and stuff like that. And then offensively, making sure that we're pushing the tempo. We want to play fast this year, so we want to make sure we're getting the ball up the court, trying to steal some easy buckets that way. But also, while playing fast, we're playing controlled, and we want to make sure that we're able to take good shots, and we're not just taking the first shot we see. So in playing like in our scrimmages and stuff like that, we want to make sure that we're able to not just shoot on the first side of the court. We want to make sure that if we bring it up on the right side, we want to reverse it to the left and reverse to the right again to make sure we're shifting the defense to not just settle for the first shot we see, but kind of get good or great shots.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So how does summer session differ between schools, right? I assume you experienced it at Indiana State and then now at Southern Indiana. Kind of does it look kind of the same other than, specific team-based nuances? But
so I think it was my first year. I kind of put an asterisk on it because it was COVID. So that was a little different. I mean, guys are working out in masks, and I can't remember exactly if it was individuals or if it was like little groups, but it was definitely we did 2 days of individual stuff or small groups, and then we did 2 days of team practice. So we did a lot of like individual shooting and kind of where you and your position will get your shots from, which was good. And then we did 2 days of teamwork in June. So we would do kind of that same defensive, offensive principles, putting in like our early offensive stuff. And then once you get to July, it was more team stuff. With Coach Schertz, he had a whole new team, so he kind of had to implement his offensive system. So we were a lot more team stuff the whole time. And if we were individuals, we would kind of break down the actions that we were going to run offensively. So we would kind of break them down, break down the reads. And then when we got together as a team, we would kind of go through them together. So he was really big on breaking stuff down in small groups. And then we came together, putting it together and kind of seeing how it was. And then here at USI, we've just been big on kind of the same thing, kind of doing some stuff individually, but doing a lot of stuff together, kind of building the principle of how we want to play. And we haven't been doing as much individual stuff just because we do have so many new guys, and we want to like make sure everybody is on the same page together. So we've been doing a lot of team stuff. I think each school does it differently. Each coach kind of does it differently. But I think that's kind of the different ways that each school has done it so far that I've been at.
That makes sense. So what is what is Coach G's favorite thing for you guys to do during the summer workouts? Like it's like the thing that makes him the most excited.
Run. He loves to make us run. No, Coach D he definitely loves to make us run. But he loves defense. So every day we're doing defensive drills. We're doing closeouts. We're doing make sure we're in the right spots, sell defense, rebounding. The defensive end to him is everything. So if we're not locked in guarding, talking on defense, then he's definitely not afraid to stop it and put us on that line. But we also his favorite thing is defense, but he thinks that offense is something that he recruits guys that he thinks can score, and so he gives us freedom offensively as long as we're able to go down the other end and guard.
That makes sense. So what is something that's your least favorite thing? Is it running? Is it like what when Coach G says, all right, now we're gonna do the X, what is X? What is the thing that makes you the most bummed to do?
Definitely running. When I first got there, that was the first coach I'd ever in college I'd ever conditioned for, honestly. So it caught me off guard. But I will say, I think it was Trevor Lakes my first year told me, he said he's gonna run you, but you'll be in the best shape that you've been in. And it's definitely a fact. There's definitely been some days where we're running a lot, and I'm like, man, this guy, he might be crazy. But I go back home and I play, and I feel like I don't get tired. So that's something that's been good. But I'm definitely not a fan of running. I'd rather just practice.
Yeah, I remember when I was like I said, I coached high school baseball. When I was in school, my coach, we ran all the time. And as baseball players, we're like, why do we need to run this much?
Right.
Why do we need to run this much? And then now, guys we coach, different coach, and don't run nearly as much. It's just like, okay, there are the outcome was the same at the end of the season. It's all just about the specific team composition for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
he's big on. He wants us to be the toughest, most conditioned team, and that's something that's kind of his identity for us, and that's what he wants us to do. So that's kind of what we try to do. So to him, it's important that, like I said, we're the toughest team in the league. We're the most conditioned and stuff like that, and disciplined. So that's kind of his way of trying to make sure that we're in line. And so we do the defensive drills, or we do whatever drills to build discipline and make sure we're doing stuff the right way and build good habits. And if not, he's gonna make sure we know that that's the wrong way.
Makes sense.
What kind of like non-basketball stuff are you guys doing during the summer? Sorry?
You said as a team?
As a team, or individually with your friends. What are you doing?
At home, I like to go fishing. I like to hang out with some boys, go fishing, or just do anything outside, really. At school, they've been good about like we'll do some team activities, whether like a coach will have us over and he'll grill for us, or I know during the finals we would hang out every finals game and watch it together. Coach G actually he paid for us all to go see Bad Boys, the movie, the new one that came out, so that was really nice of him. But I think it's big in the summer, especially at school. We're like the only people there, the basketball teams. Mm-hmm. So it's big that we're able to kind of do stuff together and build that chemistry, because, I mean, we start in June and we're together until March. So it's just us, and it's a long year. So you want to make sure that you're able to build relationships and do stuff, even if it's just come over and play NCAA football or whatever.
Yeah, I guess you guys don't have a football team at Southern Indiana, right?
No, not yet.
So you can't take them to the college football playoff and NCAA.
not unless I make a team, but I haven't been that bored yet. Maybe I will be.
Hey, you got a couple weeks off before the
right
football season starts, and just invite once you're back on campus, make the team, obviously.
Yeah.
On campus, and every Saturday can't watch Southern Indiana play, but
bring them over to the house.
Yep. There you go.
Can't you download people's rosters or something in that?
Yeah, there's definitely people they got a lot of free time on their hands. They're doing a lot of things for that game.
There's probably a Southern Indiana team out there. I know somebody was like building an Evansville team or something. It was like, all right, I made Evansville. We're gonna win it all.
Yeah, I've got some boys that have been playing that. They're in like the year 2034 playing. So I definitely believe that they can do whatever they want.
I thought I was moving, and I'm in 2028. But that's
Yeah, 2034 was crazy. I asked him, I told him, you might need to go outside, but
still
for sure.
hasn't won the college football playoff.
So this is your final year of eligibility, right? What's next? Do you want to try and play basketball at another level, or are you going to try and go into coaching? Kind of what's
I
your
think
plan?
I think the goal is definitely have a really good year as a team, win some games, play well individually, and try and go overseas and keep playing basketball as long as I can. Because it is a blessing to play in college. It is a blessing to play as long as you can. And to travel the world and play will be super incredible. So I think that's definitely number one. Outside of that, I really don't know. I think I'm in a blessed position that I want to try new things, whether it is coaching. I think it's crazy that I've had 3 coaching staffs, but I think that has helped me build relationships and kind of learn what I would like to do if I was a coach, or kind of learn different things from each coach and each culture, which would be cool. So I think that's something that is definitely in the back of my head. Coach G and all my coaches always kind of they tell me that they think I'm going to be a coach. I tell them I don't know. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that they got to deal with, and I don't think I could. But that's something that I definitely wouldn't mind trying. But also, my family is extremely blessed. My dad is part of a 3rd-generation family recycling company. So I think if nothing else works out, if it's time for me to settle down and lock in, I might just kind of hop over to that side.
You
That makes
ever
sense.
you ever tell your dad you can do that he should sign you for an NIL deal? You'll do it for free, obviously. I'm Sam Mervis, Mervis Industries.
My dad is not that kind of guy. I would love to, but my dad is not that kind of guy. He's about his business, and that's it. But I definitely I always steal his work shirt, so I definitely make sure I got the Mervis Industries rocking.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What are you gonna do? Well, you got 2.5 weeks off. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. My little brother's home right now, so I spend as much time with him and my mom and my dad that's home right now. I've got some buddies that are home right now that I don't get to see that much during the summer, so see them, see some old teammates. Some old teammates from Indiana State are in town. Some teammates from USI are in town, so I'm gonna go see them while I'm home. We're also kind of reset. I mean, it's a long year. It's been a long summer, so there's 2 to 3 weeks. I want to make sure that I'm still playing basketball every day, but also I'm kind of recharging my battery and maybe fish a little bit more. Go outside as much as I can while it's nice weather, and definitely play some NCAA college football. Definitely try and get better at that.
Got to. You can't go back and just get swept by everybody.
Yeah, no, we used to have Madden tournaments my first year at USI, and I was the champion of that. So I got to kind of go back and pull my crown when I go back for NCAA college football.
I never really played Madden. I played 2K a lot more than Madden, and when I fired this thing up, dude, I was horrible. Horrible.
It can get really, really ugly. So I definitely believe it. There's been some games where I'm looking at me and my buddy are looking at each other like, dude, this is bad to play. I couldn't imagine being a spectator. There's some ugly games for sure.
I think I started as a quarterback, and I was like, I'm doing like blue chip, like the highest elite recruit. I'm not trying to make
I'm not
difficult.
putting myself to that grind. Yeah.
It's like, all right, so I was a quarterback. First 2 plays, run. All right, hand off, run. He takes it to the house. Cool. Next one, same thing. First passing play, sacked. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah, it is. So you are from Indy, and obviously there's a decent amount of people from Indiana who are still playing in Indiana, who are your age, maybe a little bit younger. Do you know any of like those guys who are playing at any of the 10 other teams? Do you know any of them in high school, or do you like know them now at all?
Let's I don't know, maybe let's go by team maybe.
So like
Evansville, I know I'm familiar with Cam Hafner. Him and I, like I'd say we're friends. We played together a couple times this summer. Valpo, I don't think I do. Indiana State, not anymore. I think they're all
not
kind
anymore.
of fun.
Did you know Larry before you were
No,
roommates?
I never met him. I kind of knew a Nick Kittle before, but not super well. From Purdue, I played a little bit with Braden Smith, played for Grant Park. So that's kind of the same program that I grew up on. So him and I played together the last 2 summers. We played with Brian Watt a little bit, so that was nice. I'm trying to think of I know Trey Galloway a little bit. I'd say like Billy Smith. He doesn't play in Indy, but he goes to Bellarmine. Peter Suter's from Indy. He goes to Miami, Ohio. I'm trying to think who else. There's some guys from Indy that play at D2 that I'm pretty cool with. Evan Altman goes to University of Illinois, Springfield. So I don't know. I think Indy does breed a lot of basketball. So whenever I come home, it's never a shortage of pickup and things.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think who else.
Yes, it's got to be nice to. I mean, obviously, like to be from Indy, but then like when you come home, people are very willing to just drive to Indy to play basketball, and like you get people from probably like Purdue just driving like the hour and a half, whatever it is, just to come play with whatever coach or whatever. Like you said, playing with Braden Smith the last 2 summers.
Yeah, we just had Jack Milkey. He just came down after workouts, and he came to Indy for a couple of days. So it was nice to have him down in Indy and kind of see like just kind of what basketball's like in Indy. It was nice to have him down here. Trevor Lakes, he used to go to USI. He just got back from Australia, so he just got back in Indy. So I'm sure he'll be popping in the gym in the next couple of days. So like you said, it's just nice to be in Indy where basketball is not kind of just another thing. It's kind of like the thing. It's a big staple here.
Yeah, we I guess I think I have like one more thing for you, and that's tell Coach Sprue that he keeps telling me he's gonna send us some Southern Indiana stuff. And he said, I'm gonna send it. I swear.
If he doesn't send it, then as soon as you guys come down for a game, him and I will definitely make sure you're taken care of.
I'm gonna keep giving him crap until it happens.
Yeah, he's the swag guy. I'm sure he's got it. I think he's been real busy, kind of like trying to make sure we got all of our stuff taken care of. He's been doing a lot for us, so I'm sure he didn't forget about you. I'm sure he's just kind of letting it all. I'm sure he's making this all nice and special for you guys.
No, of course, yeah. We're joking. We're like to poke fun at him, but obviously we want him to take care of you guys first.
Yeah,
I think if you guys come down for a game though, for sure, we'll definitely be able to take care of you guys.
That's our hope. It's we're in Fort Wayne, so it's about as far as you can possibly get.
Yeah. I remember it's probably about 5.5. I think was a drive last year when we played IPFW.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a hike, but I think, like I said, I think it'll be fun. Maybe come down for like a little Thursday, Saturday, just have the weekend down there during conference. Maybe it'll be fun.
Yeah, and we'll have to we'll pit you guys up against Evansville. We'll go to an Evansville game, and we'll go to your game, and we'll report back on which game was better. Better environment, better arena.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like us in that.
Well, we don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything else that you didn't bring up that you want to shout out for our listeners?
No, I think I'm excited for this year. I know we got a good team. We got a lot of guys that have kind of been working, getting in the gym, ready to go. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited for you guys to see it. I think we're more dynamic this year. We got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. A lot of guys that are able to make plays for each other. And I don't know. I think as long as we're able to play together, I think we should, like you guys said, make a lot of noise and hopefully go out and run the table. So I'm excited.
That's what we're hoping for. We want to see you guys. I mean, the only thing better than you guys winning the OVC tournament is making it into the NCAA tournament, but you're still ineligible. So you might as well win and then have everyone be talking about how unfair it is that you can't make it.
No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
And we'd like to see you guys in the postseason, somewhere, the NIT, the CBI, the CIT, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm excited for this year. I think we got a lot of good pieces. So as long as we can get them to fit together, I'm extremely excited.
Yeah,
we are too.
Yeah, very, very. And obviously, when we do come down, when y'all win, we'll make sure to talk about you even more.
I appreciate that.
And Jaren's gonna play you in NCAA football. He said he can take you.
That's fine. Hopefully I'm better by then. Otherwise, we'll have to put you on some teammates. I know we got a lot of guys I think in the camp so far.
Oh, I'm terrible. I'm awful. You could probably beat me blindfolded. But no, again, appreciate y'all taking the time. Y'all appreciate you taking the time. Like we said, we're excited for the season. We're glad that you are. That's all we had for you. So we'll let you go and get back to the family.
Yeah, enjoy your summer, man. We are excited to see how you do this season. You dished out 8 assists last year. Let's make it 10.
Yeah, that's the goal. We got a lot of guys that can make shots, so I got faith in them. I'll make sure I get them the ball. They can take care of the rest.
There you go. You ever tell them, hey, it's not my fault I don't have more assists. It's their fault. They're not hitting the shots.
No, if they miss it, it's on me. I gave them a bad pass. All they can do is make it. It's on me. If they miss it, it's on me.
It's very honorable of you.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Take care. I'm excited for the season.
After talking to Sprue, a month ago, 2 months ago almost, it feels like I was excited. But then obviously talking to Sam, we were big fans of his all last year. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what the Screaming Eagles do.
I think we talked through the day that they reported or something. It was right the day that summer started, or right when summer was about to start.
I think it was the night before.
Yeah.
And then we talked to him on a Sunday, and he had to get up the next morning. So 7 weeks ago.
So we got that perfect. Got that perfectly done. But yeah, we got to get down to a game. I know it's electric in there. I think it'll be fun to compare Evansville to Southern Indiana and see, maybe who treats us better. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good baseline. You got anything else?
Olympics. Watch the Olympics, I guess. We're going to be back next week, and we're going to be talking to Elliott Crow from Bracket Busters. So he's got we're going to be talking some mid-major basketball. So we will be talking about the Screaming Eagles again next week, but we're going to be talking with Bracket Busters. Elliott's a good guy over there, so we'll be back live 9 p.m. with him, and hopefully have some more players and coaches on until the season previews start. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, just excited I'm a big fan of the Olympics. I watched it for 4 hours today. Did not wake up early for it, but love the Olympics. Keep watching it. Support Team USA. That's all I have. So the clock is showing quadruple zeros. It's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking in the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next week. And remember, in 49 states,
it's just basketball.